I'm Shariff, and I'm a level 1 chef.
Hi, I'm Julie, and I'm a level 2 chef.
I'm Danielle, creator of Diversity Kitchen, and I've been a professional chef for 15 years.
Chicken sandwich is a good alternative for a burger. You can do a nice, healthy chicken breast chicken sandwich.
We're doing sandwiches today, and I couldn't be happier because I love sandwiches, except for hot dogs. A hot dog is not a sandwich.
Now, I'm really particular about my chicken. I want to make sure that I have good quality, pasture-raised, organic if possible.
For my chicken sandwich, I like to use chicken breast.
The first step is to slice it in half.
I'm going to lay my hand flat like this, and then I start from the thicker side.
I'm gonna slice the tender off first. And now I'm just gonna slice it down the middle.
And then you see we have 2 somewhat equal pieces of chicken.
So I've got 2 nice pieces ready to go.
So now that we have our chicken cut in half, I'm gonna place it on the parchment.
We want to pound these breast halves really thin because we want to cook them really quickly. So I'm using a mallet. We're going to pound these babies thin.
I create my own seasoning salt. Here I have salt, paprika, garlic powder, and black pepper. So I'll just place those all in a bowl.
Don't hit too hard. Sort of be annoyed when you do this, not angry. Woo!
I always season my chicken first. And whenever I season, I always season from a high. And then of course you do both sides. So make sure you flip your chicken and get in there and do the other side.
Now that we've gotten them nice and flattened, we're gonna put them to the side while we mix up that delicious dredging mixture.
Now we are going to dredge our chicken. First, we want to add our seasonings to the flour.
You might say, don't you dredge in flour? Normally you do, but I like to use cornstarch because to me it has kind of a lighter consistency and it also absorbs the flavors of the herbs and spices we're going to put in. To me, anyway, a little bit better.
So I'm just gonna add a little salt.
Don't ask Julie how much, just watch.
Don't wanna add too much salt since I'm also going to add my Lowry's seasoning salt. I'm not sure what's in Lowry's, but it tastes good. And now the Cajun seasoning. It's gotta have that right Cajun oomph. So next I'm gonna add my black pepper.
Dried thyme. Now the one fresh ingredient I'm using is, yes, you know, chives. I'm in my chive mode. I have a number of secret weapons. This is my newest one. It's called Moresh pepper. Now I just mix it up a little bit.
Together.
I'm going to crack some eggs and scramble those because our dredging station is always flour, egg, and then panko.
I know people will put egg, but I'm making a sandwich and I don't really want like a fried chicken.
And now I'm going to add all of my seeds to my panko mixture. So first with the pumpkin seeds, I always like to chop these up a little more just because sometimes you get pumpkin seeds and they can be really big. Our poppy seeds and our sesame seeds. So I'll take this and I'll just make sure it's nice and mixed.
All right, now I'm gonna add my buttermilk to the dish. And we're gonna dredge this baby up.
Doesn't have to be perfect, just somewhat coated.
Dip it in the buttermilk. Gives you that good crunch. Now back in the flour.
Shake off your excess and put it aside.
You can kind of clap them together and that helps just get off any excess flour.
Now we got this baby and then those can sit for a minute.
I'm gonna put this into our egg. And you can always work by keeping one hand clean. So you got a wet hand and a dry hand.
My fingers have a little batter on it, but that's all right. We're cooking with love. You can always wash your hands, so it's fine.
Now I'm gonna lay it in here. And this one I like to just kind of, almost like you're burying it. And then I like to always flip it too. And now I'm gonna place that right on our baking sheet.
And there you have it. Next step is the cooking.
The chicken is dredged, so now we're gonna get to frying. What's key here is to make sure that your oil is hot and ready to go.
It's been heating up, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of olive oil.
I have my vegetable oil here. It's already hot, so I'm gonna place the chicken in now.
Now here I use sunflower oil. I love sunflower oil because it's a high heat oil that is a neutral flavor. If you're using a thermometer, you can just check to make sure the oil is between about 325 and 350.
I have the vegetable oil at 300 degrees, and we are gonna let this chicken fry up.
I want to make this really hot because I'm literally going to almost sear these cutlets on each side.
The last thing you want to do is have your heat too high, and then everything's browned super quickly and you're left with raw chicken.
That's why I have to eyeball this chicken breast, because I don't cook chicken breast all the time, so I want it to be done correctly. Maybe 5 minutes, 4 minutes on each side.
Maybe 2, 3 minutes on each side, but again, you'll know.
So let's go ahead and give this a flip.
I'm a proponent of the 2-flip method. So we flip things twice.
You'll notice it's getting nice and golden brown. Browning really brings out the flavor.
Doesn't have to be totally brown. It's not a fried chicken sandwich, it's a sauteed chicken sandwich. So this golden color is what I like to see.
Chick-fil-A has nothing on my chicken sandwich.
Now we're gonna quickly saute our shallots and our mushrooms. Take a little salt. We're simply going to spoon this mixture on top of our chicken breast.
So I'm just gonna place this on my rack over here.
Now I'm gonna take my chicken out and place it on the rack. Sprinkle a little salt.
Now we're gonna top our breasts with a slice of provolone cheese, maybe a slice and a half.
I chose to use ciabatta bread for my sandwich. I'll cut it in half. So here we go, a little bit of olive oil I'm gonna brush it with, and I add a touch of salt and pepper.
Nothing like the smell of fresh sourdough bread.
So now I'm gonna toast my bread for about 3 to 4 minutes on broil.
We're headed to the broiler. I'll be back.
All right, now we've just fried our chicken, and now we are gonna start on our special sauce.
I wanna just kind of make a little zhuzhed up mayonnaise.
I'm making a pesto, but this is not your traditional pesto. So first I'm gonna start off with my basil. I'm just gonna give this a rough chop.
Okay, so I have my chopped pickles here, my mayo, my ketchup, black pepper.
So I'm gonna put my marash pepper. Always have to use a lot of chives and thyme. And we are now just going to meld this together.
My almonds go first, and then my pine nuts. I make sure that all my nuts are toasted, my almonds and my pine nuts. It just really brings out the flavor.
Rather than using measuring spoons, we'll use a measuring mouth.
I think maybe I will add just a little more black pepper.
Did I say a little? Much more chives. And then we're gonna mix this up, let it sit.
Yes, that's better.
Now that my basil is nice and chopped, I'm gonna add that to the blender. Rough chop on my mint and then add it to the blender. So now with my peeled garlic, I'm just gonna give it a rough chop.
The longer things sit, the more they coalesce and come together. So thyme is our friend, not just the spice, but the melding process as well.
Now I'm gonna add a pinch of salt, and then I love black pepper, and then olive oil. Make sure that we're starting on a low and then slowly work our way up in speed. Always taste things because you can season along the way. I'm gonna add a touch more salt. And there you have it, my pesto.
All that's left is to get my toppings and put it all together.
So now we are going to prepare our toppings for our sandwich. I like to have radishes sometimes with sandwiches, and I want them sliced really nicely thinly and uniformly. So I am going to use a mandoline.
Okay, now I'm gonna cut my tomatoes.
Tomato, of course, is nice, but sometimes it's really seasonal.
I like thin slices on my chicken sandwich.
I don't like paper thin tomatoes. The things that we're slicing really need to stand up to our chicken.
This is how I do it.
We have olives to slice.
I chose red peppers. I go ahead and toast them or roast them until they're nice and black. I'll place them in a bowl and then I'll cover them with plastic. So let me take this off. I'll just kind of slowly scrape it. And then what I like to do sometimes is just grab like a paper towel and kind of get any of that excess off. And now I'm just gonna chop them up so that it's easier to place on the sandwich.
We're ready to build our sandwich. So we take our 2 pieces of bread.
I'm gonna start by putting some of this great pesto on both sides.
I like a lot of mayo. You do you, I'm gonna do me.
You can never have too much sauce.
After you have your mayonnaise, you layer your spinach leaves. And then our tomato slices.
So for my chicken sandwich, I decided to go with a brioche bun. So now we'll add the chicken.
Then I'm gonna put some radishes. We're gonna make this a monster sandwich. Let's use both of these.
My Monterey Jack cheese.
Have this great fresh mozzarella, and then a few pieces of my roasted red pepper.
I don't like too much tomato, so I'm just gonna do 2 thin slices. Add 3 pickles. Now add my lettuce.
I hate lettuce on sandwiches. I find it to be an abomination. That's why I like to use spinach. I'm embedding the olives in our mayonnaise.
The sauce. So I'm gonna sauce the top bun, and maybe 1 little drizzle.
Top it off.
We make contact.
This is my chicken sandwich.
This is my sandwich.
There you have it. My chicken sandwich.
Now here's the moment of truth. Slap my face and call me Nancy. That is,
Spinach is nice and crunchy. The radishes, piquant. That provolone, shallots. It's good. Believe me.
You get that crusty bread and that crunchy chicken, and then all of a sudden you're hit with the creaminess of the mozzarella and the sweetness of the pepper, and then you get all that nutty flavor from the pesto. This is the sandwich to have.
Chicken makes a wonderful sandwich with so many options for cooking, seasoning, and serving. Let's see how each one of our chefs made theirs. Shariff dredged his chicken in wheat flour seasoned with salt, pepper, and Cajun seasoning, which is a blend of ingredients like salt, paprika, chili powder, and garlic powder.
the Cajun kick, that right amount of cayenne.
He was careful to shake off excess flour so that the rest of the breading doesn't fall off when he fried his chicken. Only a thin layer of flour will adhere to the moist chicken. If you have too much flour, other ingredients will start to fall off because flour doesn't stick to flour. Dipping the chicken first in wheat flour allows the starch and clingy proteins in the flour to adhere to the smooth, moist surface of his chicken. The wheat flour's irregularly shaped particles also stick to the buttermilk, which is the next step in his dredging process. His third step is to re-dredge in the flour mixture. The flour becomes dehydrated and gelatinized for a crispy coating once it's fried. This is a conventional way to coat chicken because it consistently works so well. Julie used cornstarch for her dredging. Cornstarch gave Julie an extra crispy coating on her chicken because the particles in corn flour are larger than wheat and absorb less water.
This is gonna be so simple, guys. You're gonna say, why don't I do this?
She seasoned her cornstarch with dried thyme, salt, pepper, chopped fresh chives, and marash pepper, which is from Turkey and is similar to paprika or Aleppo pepper, but slightly sweet. It brings a complex smokiness to Julie's dredge.
Don't use this much unless you're me.
Danielle used a classic breading method, but with a level 3 flavor profile. She salted her chicken first, which is always a good first step.
The reason I season from a high is because I don't want chunks of seasoning salt on one piece of the chicken and then the other piece is not seasoned.
Danielle added salt, pepper, paprika, and garlic powder to her wheat flour and dipped her chicken strips just to coat them, shaking off any excess flour. Next, she coated them in beaten eggs, which have globular proteins that adhere very well to the flour mixture. Finally, she dipped her chicken in a combination of panko breadcrumbs and pumpkin, sesame, and poppy seeds. Panko is a Japanese type of exceptionally crispy breadcrumb with a coarse and jagged texture and increased surface area, which comes in contact with hot oil when frying. They're specifically made from white wheat bread that's specially processed. They're extremely crunchy and crispy when fried. Danielle chopped her pumpkin seeds so that they're small enough to adhere to the eggs when she fried her chicken, and also made for a nicer eating experience because the pumpkin seed flavors are blended better and don't overpower her breading. They're a beautiful green color from the presence of chlorophyll and are high in protein and fat. Sesame seeds are very small and added a nice nutty flavor to Danielle's dredge. The nuttiness comes from a compound called furfuryl, which is also found in roasted coffee.
The three of these have great flavor, but there's just something about the sesame seeds that I just really enjoy.
Poppy seeds are extremely small, round, and have a beautiful deep, dark bluish color, which is actually an optical illusion. The seed is brown but covered with a compound called calcium oxalate in crystal form. The calcium oxalate acts like a prism which refracts light, so the blue wavelengths in the spectrum are what we actually see. This combination of textures, flavors, and colors is what makes this a level 3 dish. Shariff fried his chicken in peanut oil, which has a high smoke point and resists rancid or off flavors because of oxidative stability. It's excellent for frying. Shariff maintained an oil temperature of 350 degrees Fahrenheit before taking it out of the oil. It took about 3 minutes on each side.
I've been frying chicken since I was like 13, so I should be level 10 at frying chicken.
Shariff set his chicken on a rack so that it could drain and ensures that the crispy exterior won't steam and become soft. He salted his chicken hot out of the oil when it will adhere best to the chicken. It took about 3 minutes on each side to cook. Julie sauteed her chicken in olive oil. She used less oil than Shariff because her chicken was thinner and it didn't have a thick dredge. Olive oil is high in monounsaturated fatty acids and is good for frying. You don't want to use extra virgin oil for frying in this case, as it would change the taste of the chicken as it's heated. Blended, less expensive olive oils do the trick just fine. Danielle fried her chicken strips in safflower oil, which comes from the seeds of the safflower plant. It has a high smoke point and is neutral in flavor.
You don't have to worry about the oil imparting a lot of flavor onto whatever you're frying.
She fried at a higher temperature, 375 degrees Fahrenheit, so her chicken cooked more quickly. Shariff used a rich, buttery, and soft brioche bun for his chicken sandwich. I love how Shariff put his sauce on his lettuce instead of his bun. It's more like dressing a salad that way and didn't make the bun soggy.
Never have too much sauce.
Julie broiled her chicken and toppings as well as sliced her sourdough bread so that the outside was crisped and the inside was soft. This is so flavorful, colorful, delicious, and, well, tall.
This is not a meal, this is 2 meals.
There's lots going on with Julie's chicken sandwich, and it goes to show you that you can make a delicious sandwich with ingredients you might already have on hand, or switch out a few too.
The other thing that I love about sandwiches is pairing different textures.
Danielle used ciabatta bread. Ciabatta is a moist dough that rises slowly. As yeast ferments the sugars in the dough over time, large holes are formed from carbon dioxide and steam from excess water when the dough is baked. It's a soft, chewy, flatter bread and delicious for Danielle's chicken sandwich.
I wanted something that was sturdy and would hold my chicken, my pesto, and my peppers and cheese.
It's a beautiful level 3 masterpiece of a sandwich with texture, flavor, and color combinations that are so well balanced you just might want to make 2.
It's so colorful, I love it.
Next time you're in the mood for a chicken sandwich, you can make it tall, short, crunchy, colorful. There's no shortage of variations for this classic sandwich. We hope you'll use some of these tips from our 3 creative chefs.